Welcome back. Now, with the main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, throwing its ticket open for its presidential candidate, it appears the issue of zoning the presidential ticket of the party in the next general election is dead and buried. The race for the party's ticket has effectively been thrown open. This is certainly not going down well with members of the party from the South who have been pushing the party to zone its presidential ticket to that zone, in particular the southeast of the country. Even a plan by some presidential aspirants of the party from the north to put forward a consensus candidate has also hit the rocks. The way things are shaping out, it appears all the aspirants will have to slug it out for the party's presidential ticket. And it's surely a crowded field, unless, of course, some step down before the primary in May. But joining me right now is Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, who is among the very first to declare his interest to contest for the presidential election in 2023 under the platform of the PDP. He's also part of the aspirants pushing for the zoning of the party's presidential ticket to the southeast and has actually rejected the alleged Northern Elders consensus decision. He joins me now from Abuja. Thank you very much for joining me on the program. Let me start by asking you how disappointed you are that your party has decided to throw its presidential primary open, because it's obviously not zoning it to the south.
Well, certainly we're concerned and certainly not quite pleased because we had expected that the party would retain its avowed policy, its avowed constitutionally provided rotation and zoning of political and elective offices, which it has done over these years, and which other parties have emulated. In fact, it has become a national credo. So we were wondering what led to this, abandonment of a policy that has served the nation well, that shows our understanding of the sensitivity of the broad, diverse nature of our country, the ethnic diversity and other diversities, and the need to be more inclusive and create enabling environment for every section of the country to feel that they have an opportunity and a right to provide leadership for our country at the highest level. So it's something that is causing us concern, and we're here waiting for the National Executive Committee to give the last word on this.
Let me ask you this. What do you make of the argument of some members of your party from the north especially, who say, look, the north have not had their time, their own time complete, that the late President Yar'Adua did not complete his term, and that if he had completed his first term, he probably would have gotten a second term, and that the understanding was that, by that arrangement, the North was supposed to spend 8 years in power, but of course, unfortunately, the late President Yar'Adua died now, and President Jonathan took over, and on the basis of their own calculation, also on the basis of zoning, the presidency, from the angle of your party, should remain in the north.
Well, I believe that everybody can raise argument to support his case. People can quote even the scriptures to support their case, even when that case does not meet moral scrutiny or does not show maintenance of certain basic principle in a manner that shows integrity. And we're not talking about just the PDP presidential candidate. We're talking about national office. The president of the country was in the south. When Obasanjo was there, it came north. The only reason he went back south again was an act of God, which man had no control. If Yar'Adua had been alive, he would have completed his time without any problem. So when there was intervention of forces beyond human nature, what you call the intervention of nature itself, it caused a little bit of destabilization. And the North became very vehement in its argument that the North, the power should go to the North. In 2015, they were implacable. And that's what led to even some members of PDP doing anti-party activities to ensure that the position of presidency went back to the North. So they didn't support PDP candidates, even those who were PDP members. A number of them, NDP, PDP. That's what even led to the crack in PDP. And so the Northern candidates emerged. That party ought to respect this principle that after 8 years, he should go. But we're not God. God can intervene at any time. He's the owner of heaven and earth. We can make our own arrangements. He can change it. But as man, we must stay with what we think is the right thing. So that argument will fall down, because if you follow that argument, it means that maybe for the next 20 years, we'll be zoning the party to one place until we balance the number. The number, it doesn't matter how there's interference by factors and forces beyond our control. So I think that the right thing that suits everybody, and I can tell you people in the North, people in the South are saying the same, that the time to eliminate the dissonance in the polity, the time to bring Nigeria to a peaceful climate is very urgent now, and nothing should be done to cause further destabilization or disequilibrium.
Let me quickly ask you this. Now that your party has decided to throw the race open, so to speak, what do you think are the chances of the aspirants from the South? I mean, aspirants like yourself, those of you from the South, because somehow one tends to get the impression that you may actually not stand a very good chance at all if the race, you know, as has been done now, is thrown open, and you would have to run against some of these accomplished politicians from the North, and sentiments are brought in and all of that.
Well, for me, I know that the Nigeria of 2023, 2022 is not the Nigeria of 2015. In my efforts to go around the country, I've been around the country about twice. First, I went to 36 states trying to enthrone the new Nigeria group concept, which was our political movement to sell the vision of a new Nigeria, a first world nation, a nation that will work for all. And everybody in the North and the South identified. When I decided to declare I was going to run on PDP, I've gone to 34 states, and I'm meeting people in the North who sincerely believe that the next president should come from the South. Many of them are speaking so out of their conscience, out of equity and justice and fair play. Others are also speaking so that the current presidency is from the North, and many of them cannot give any justify what advantage it has given them. Rather, they are the ones who are explaining, who are carrying burden of a government that seems not to be meeting its own avowed commitments and plans. They are going in the APC government, say they were going to focus on economy, focus on anti-corruption and security. But today, DEJI and all Nigerians can give their verdict. In which of these areas have they done well? In which of these areas have the northern part of Nigeria got extraordinary benefit? The North is carrying the can today when it comes to insecurity. They are suffering more. So I wouldn't know why a typical Northerner will insist it must come back to the North so that what will be served. I mean, the security is getting worse by the day. The economy, unemployment has risen to 71%, to 3% in the youth population. Poverty is 71%. You can't travel around the country. So I believe that most people, our compatriots from the North, the Middle Belt, and the South and the Southwest, Southeast have determined, let's move this down the way we have done. Maybe God will use a Southerner or a Southeasterner to resolve this problem. We should try some other parts of our country. So the chances, to answer you, DEJI, is that the chances are as bright as the chance of having a northern candidate. Those hard divisions we used to see, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that people are not going to vote just because I'm from the south, I'm from the east. They will also look at the quality and the pedigree and the vision and what the presidential candidate is bringing on board.
Now, for those of you from the south who are contesting, who are aspiring, have you sat down among yourselves now and probably decide on the idea of coming up with a consensus candidate instead of having a crowded field?
Well, that's not on the table right now. For us, those of us from the southeast have met. We've decided that we should cooperate with each other. We should support each other. What we're looking for, as we discussed, is a team lead. Who is going to be the leader of the team? And if at the end of the day anyone is chosen as the leader, the idea is that others should support, bring up on board their ideas, because one man may not be able to govern this country effectively. We need a team of enlightened, visionary, competent, courageous, and people of integrity who can band it together and rescue the nation. So consensus is not on board, because consensus is a difficult thing. You could see 4 people in the north couldn't reach a consensus. They even voluntarily submitted themselves. When the results came, everybody began to run left and right. It's a difficult thing. If you are motivated like I am motivated to come and serve, it's not going to be easy to ask anybody to just step down. We're not looking for just making an attempt. But if at the end of the day, as I said, if we can take the team concept and bring all the presidential candidates at a team, whether we're in the north or the south, or even the PDP, and say, this is our team. And then what we're looking for is a team lead. That will help the other candidates to be able to understand that no matter what height ends, they will have an opportunity to sell their ideas to the team, and those ideas can be used. That is my suggestion. But would there be a consensus where one candidate will emerge? I believe that is going to be a difficult thing, both for the South and the North. If 4 people in the North couldn't agree, you can imagine how many of us in the South or in the Southeast. So it's not an objective which is going to be easy. But what I would like to suggest, and what I'm promoting, even among the Southeast candidates, is let's be friends, let's be brothers. We want to serve a nation. It's not us we want to serve. And let the people of the country decide what they want.
I'm just wondering if you don't think, the aspirants from other parts of the country, especially from the north now, don't you think if those of you coming out from the southeast, for instance, or the south as a whole, come together and probably present 1 or 2 persons, that they will begin to take you very seriously and say, okay, it appears these people are actually determined, and that, look, we need to look their way?
I don't normally undertake unproductive activities that will yield no benefit. I'm experienced enough to know that to form a consensus is not an easy thing on any matter, not about political issue. There could be people who could, on their own, because of their level of preparedness, because of their motivation, they can decide to step down or endorse somebody else. It does happen. But you come to the point where you say present 1 or 2 candidates. It's not impossible, but it's a difficult thing. I'm telling you that the North had 4. They voluntarily asked President Babangida and a team of people to choose. They both chose, and they are rejecting it. How much more if in the South we don't have such people who are respected, who can get people together and even not getting them to. Babangida didn't ask them. They volunteered to ask Babangida to do this for them. So they submitted themselves, and yet when the result came, they rejected it. I knew it was going to happen. If anybody looked at my interview, will have said what I said is not going to work. Much more so when that consensus idea is not based on equity, justice, and fair play. If it's based on the foundation of justice and equity, then we can understand it. Because what I saw was an attempt to subvert rotation and zoning with consensus. It didn't sound well with me. It didn't meet my own expectations of justice, equity, and fair plan principle. So it may come that we'll trim down both from the southeast and whatever, because even our southern brothers, southwest, south people that are coming on, we're also worried, because we have supported the southern president, we have supported the southwest president. We're worried why our southern brothers are also trying to break the southern unity or alliance. But we hope and believe that as we progress in this whole effort, that some understanding may emerge when our southern other brothers from the southwest or south will know that the southeast is the proper zone that should have this shot if it is in the south. That's our hope, that's our belief. But anything can happen in Nigeria. When it gets to some turn of some people, the rules are changed, the laws are changed. It's not the first time, but my belief is that if we want to restore Nigeria to growth, development, we must practice righteousness. The Bible says righteousness exalts a nation, sin is a reproach. Whatever a man sows, he will reap. If we sow lack of principle, sow dishonor, sow survival of the fittest, let anybody who can get it. We don't care about the less privileged, the poor. Then we will see the consequences. That's the important thing.
All right. Mazi Samuel Abingwa, PDP presidential aspirant, thank you very much for talking to us. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.